Let's watch this trailer that we've already seen. Because it's Star Wars. Black stormtroopers. Why are black people in my Star Wars? Isn't that right, Lando? Yeah. Stormtroopers. Popsicle spaceships. Speeders. X-Wings. Da, 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 da. Oh no, that's scary. Looks like the Blair Witch Forest.
Turn off that light, actually.
Da da da. Da 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 da. Ba ba da 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 da. We're home, Joey.
Wow, what a pile of crap. Let's see. Teaser 2. Oh, God.
Was that just teaser 1?
Yes.
Holy Jeebus. Okay. Felt like 4 years old.
Japanese trailer is my favorite.
I want to see the Red Band trailer of this movie.
Why would there be a Red Band trailer?
Because we have Darth Meanie Face over there. He's probably going to cut some people's faces off.
I mean, it's PG-13. It was just rated.
Screw that. I want to see the rated R Star Wars movie.
Maybe someday they're going to release a Star Wars movie every year until you're dead.
The Boba Fett movie better be a hard R. NC-17. I'm going to finish what we started, Gramps.
That was confirmed. Never mind.
Don't spoil the movie for me. It hadn't even come out yet.
You have that power too.
This Christmas, we see how Jesus fights back against space Nazis and true love. Da 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 da. Joey, we're home.
There's a different take of that came out. It's more like Han Solo and less dramatic trailer guy.
Joey, we're home. Get these fucking kids off my ship.
So many TV spots.
How many TV? God. Sport previews? What?
Sport preview.
Yeah, sports. Why would people who watch sports care anything about Star Wars?
Well, that's when the official trailer came out during a football game.
Are you telling me that there's crossover between sports fans and Star Wars fans?
Yes.
I'm going to call bullshit on that.
Nah.
The Star Wars fans are the guys wearing brown bathrobes, running around with sticks screaming, "Force lightning! Force lightning!"
Oh. This is my favorite one.
What's she doing there? Her stick.
It looked to me...
Who are you?
It looked to me like she was praying, but somebody said that it was probably her trying to get water out of her canteen, which made more sense. Or maybe she is praying. Who knows?
Oh, do you? Oh no.
I love that shot.
Oh my God. Grandpa. the family business of killing Jedi and family members. Finn, what is this? Adventure Time? Little pig and a Twinkie.
It's a little pig riding on a Twinkie.
It was true, all of it. Even the part where Leia kissed her brother. It was gross! Boom! Chewbacca blew something up. A poor use of his abilities, if I must say so myself. He's a big Yeti. He can rip people's arms off. Why does he not do that more often? It's like that Wampa. That Wampa wrecked Luke's everything. Okay.
Turn off that light. Oh my god.
It's the Death Hoth. Flamethrowers. Oh, the sky turned red. They were using the Death Hoth laser. Oh no. Oh, it's time.
All teams, give it everything you got. You don't know what I've seen. Need to run.
Choo 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 choo.
Must face them.
Whoa. Did you see that stormtrooper fly? Shut up, Chewie.
I was raised to do one thing. I've got nothing to fight for.
I've got nothing to fight for.
And we'll watch this. This should be good enough.
Dun, 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 dun.
We cannot run them. We might.
In that what?
Quad jumper.
Frog jumper? Well, so much for the frog jumper. Oh no.
So short. When they said scene, I was expecting a scene, but that's just...
I don't want to watch the movie until the movie comes out. And then again, we're probably going to watch it on matinee. Because we're cheap. We don't have production values. We don't have any values at all. Welcome, fans, to the first episode of Butcher's Cut.
We have no fans.
Thank you. Thank you for that. This is a series where we analyze and talk about normal subjects that we wouldn't normally cover on the Movie Ramblers official videos. And, yeah. We analyze and speculate on things we don't already know about. This episode is going to be on Star Wars. Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
I know way too much.
Yeah, you know way too much. It's awful.
Like, I practically know the whole movie, but I don't.
And you've ruined it for yourself. That is the exact reason that I don't look at spoilers.
I don't know. There's a few things I don't know.
When this movie becomes like the next Phantom Menace, and it is the most horrible thing that could ever be put to film, which we don't do film anymore, it's all digital, but you know what I'm saying.
Actually, they shot on film for this movie.
Nonsense. They shot on digital film. It's all digital. But when it turns into the next Phantom Menace and ruins everything for Star Wars forever for the next 15 years, like the Phantom Menace did, we're all going to look back on it and go, wow, this could have been awesome.
Here's my take on that. There's no way you can be as bad as Phantom Menace. There's especially no way you can be as bad as Attack of the Clones.
I'm sure there are ways. We're probably going to talk about them in this segment. So, I am going to make my wild accusations that are probably not right in the least, but it would make for an awesomely stupid 80s movie.
I'll try to not to confirm or deny anything you say, according to what I know. But there's some things I don't. A lot of things I don't.
So, my first theory is... what is Darth bad guy's name in this? I'm going to write it down.
Kylo Ren. I don't know if you know this much, but Kylo is apparently a title. No, Ren is a title. Kylo is his name.
Ren is a title.
Like Darth is a title.
Then there's Finn and Rey.
Mm-hmm.
And then most of the returning cast of Luke, Leia, Chewie, and Han.
Poe.
Poe.
Dameron. He's a X-wing pilot that you see in the trailers. Who's woo, and he's being force
tortured. Yeah,
and tortured by Kylo Ren.
Kylo Vader.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we do speculation first, or should we talk about what we like and don't like of what we see?
Oh yeah, let's talk about the trailers. Vroom, zoom, pew, 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 pew. It's amazing. Oh, it's dark, it's edgy. Ah!
I didn't think they looked dark or edgy.
They were trying to appeal to the new target audience kind of stuff. It's...
Oh, it looks... Did you see the Verizon commercial?
No, I didn't.
The Verizon commercial, besides the obvious newness of the footage, looks like it could have been shot for A New Hope. It's great. We should actually watch that.
A better network as explained in a galaxy far, far away. Some networks promise unlimited data. Then they slow your downloads after just a gig or two. Verizon doesn't slow your stuff. Because when data is your only hope, better matters. Star Wars: The Force Awakens, December 18th.
Okay, there we go. So that was a blatant sellout, but...
Well, yeah, Star Wars has always been well, not always, but like right after the first movie came out, then it was.
Yeah. It was amazing, though. That was awesome.
Yeah.
You have Chewie and B-88?
BB-8.
BB-8, whatever. You have the little droid and Chewie in the Imperial... wherever...
Do you know the name of the base in the new movie?
No.
Star Killer Base. Somebody, I go on a Star Wars forum and somebody said, the Death Star kills planets. The Death Planet kills stars. I'm like, it's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah, it's poetry. It's poetic. It's in a rhyming scheme. It's anyway. So,
what we like and what we don't like.
What we don't like. Honestly, I'm not too thrilled about how they're projecting the story through the trailers. Honestly, in my opinion, they're showing way too much.
I think they're showing too little.
Really?
From what I know, they've not shown anything. So.
Well, what they've shown me and what people have overanalyzed and picked apart until there's nothing left, it's still way too much. And I've been trying to avoid videos where people are overanalyzing the trailer footage to the very minute details where you can see someone in the background and they're like, that's their jacket. Oh, that guy's dead. So this must be dead. Oh no, this is going to inspire... And then they make an entire movie based off of a jacket in the corner of a screen.
I love that stuff, though. I could watch that all day.
It's so horrible. I just want to watch the movie when it comes out.
That's stupid.
I hate to get so excited for something and then it, not be up to my expectations, and I'm like, oh, this is garbage.
I think part of it, why I've looked into spoilers, is because of the prequels. Because I want to be disappointed before the movie comes out, so that way, if I go in, it can surprise me.
Okay, I will back you up on that one, because the prequels were not up to par. Now, when I was young...
This is a shocking new opinion that nobody has.
Yeah, when I was young and I watched them, I did not think that they were absolute garbage, because when I was 11, 12, and 13, I could care less about Star Wars. So I got introduced to Star Wars pretty late in the game, with Battlefront 1 and 2 really pushing me into the lore. And, I read the books and some of the expanded universe. I read the Young Jedi Academy and stuff.
I've not gotten that much into expanded universe.
So yeah, the expanded universe was interesting. I didn't dive as deep as some people. There was a guy in my class who was very deep into the lore. He could quote it for you verbatim. And because of that exposure to the expanded universe, and my realization that, the prequel movies aren't that good, I grew to appreciate the original cuts of the movies instead of the special editions. So yeah, my exposure to Star Wars wasn't initially as a loving relationship. What about you? How did you get introduced into the Star Wars mythos?
It's about the same time as... Phantom Menace and Blair Witch Project came out the same year, so...
Wow.
That's basically it. Phantom Menace, I had that on tape, and I would watch that a lot. But at the same time, I was watching Night of the Living Dead and stuff like that, so I was more into zombies. Star Wars didn't really get to me until years later, I would say.
Like when you watched the Red Letter Media's Plinkett reviews?
I think that was part of it. I can't remember what came first. Was it Red Letter Media, or was it Twin Perfect? Because in their Silent Hill HD analysis, they talk about Star Wars, that one movie, People versus George Lucas. And I had a passing interest in Star Wars at this point. It's like, I would often joke about midichlorians, because, I never really thought about it. It's like, it's midichlorians, who cares,
Yeah.
But then I saw the Twin Perfect thing, and they talked about People versus George Lucas. And then that got me to watch the Red Letter Media reviews, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then... What year would this be? Would this be before or after 2012? What
Probably
year
before 2012.
What year did Phantom Menace review come out?
I'm not entirely sure.
Anyway.
I thought it was 2010, but I could be wrong.
Well, yeah. So it's very recent with me. I've always had a passing interest to it. That was it.
It never really appealed to me much until after I was out of middle school, well into high school, and I started analyzing the movies. These new movies are marketed much the same way, in my opinion, as the prequels.
I don't remember much of the marketing for prequels other than...
well, they were marketed...
Weird Al Yankovic's The Saga Begins. Which is much... If you want to watch Phantom Menace, just listen to that song.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a much more entertaining watch. But the commercials looked so good for these three movies. All three of them. The trailers looked awesome. Because you had boom, things happening, boom, things happening, boom, a boy turns around, boom, lasers, boom, droids. Interesting things were happening, and you could speculate on these trailers and go, this is going to be an interesting movie. So when I see these trailers come out and, okay, we have the iconic Millennium Falcon, we have this new girl on a desert planet that is totally not Tatooine, by the way.
Yeah, I have something to say about that.
Alright.
God.
Try not to spoil the movie.
No, this isn't a spoiler. This is me being annoyed.
Okay, go ahead.
No, we'll talk about it later.
I can't help but feel that these are just trying to get butts in seats, which that's what a trailer's supposed to do.
Yeah.
In all honesty, a trailer is supposed to get your butt in a seat. And I can appreciate that. I'm not an idiot. they aren't letting the movie sell itself on its own merit. They're making it a spectacle that the lowest common denominator will want to watch. And that's not who you make this movie for. You make this movie, this Star Wars movie, for Star Wars fans.
I would argue that Star Wars fans are lowest common denominator.
Now, you're saying that the kid who twirled a lightsaber like in 2002 on
Yes.
YouTube is the lowest common denominator?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm half joking, but these everybody praises Star Wars so much, but they're not much more, what's the word I'm looking for, deep than stuff like the Avengers when that came out, or what's the name of that movie? Guardians of the Galaxy.
Then the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Oh,
These are all the same types of movies.
hey, now, Fifth Element was a pretty deep movie. It was Die Hard in space.
Yeah. Here's a point. I don't know if I ever told you this. I like Fifth Element more than any of the Star Wars movies. How's that make you feel? I mean, I love Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Fifth Element's like perfect. It has the crazy backgroundness of the prequels, but it also has stuff going on at the same time.
Yeah, actually, once you start comparing notes on them, yeah, The Fifth Element is a better movie. It has a deeper world lore than any of the Star Wars prequels.
I'm talking about like the original also,
Oh, well.
because I don't know if I made this clear. I like Fifth Element more than I like the originals too.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
That's why I mentioned the background stuff. It's like all this flashy crap that's in the prequels that could be good if things were happening in the front. That's in Fifth Element with things happening in the front. I like Star Wars, but I think Fifth Element as a whole is a better movie.
You think it's presented better?
Yeah.
You get to see more of the world. Yeah, let's start talking about the things that we like and don't like about the
New stuff.
new stuff.
Alright.
So, let's get into marketing real quick.
Mhm.
I hate the marketing.
Why?
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 Because it's so garbage. We have so much plastic garbage well before the movie has even basically been announced.
Yeah.
We get to see this Darth wannabe and this Silver Stormtrooper. We don't even know who these people are. I don't know why I should buy their toy.
Well, I mean, go on.
You know, and okay, marketing talk. You want your product out there well before the product so that you can sell more of the product. I understand this mentality. But why is there a Silver Stormtrooper? Why should I give a blue crap about this Silver Stormtrooper? Oh, it looks kind of like a Dark Trooper from the Expanded Universe, but it's not, because they've admitted that this Expanded Universe does not exist anymore.
Oh yeah, I was going to mention that. I didn't know if you knew that.
Yeah, the Expanded Universe does not matter anymore. Burn the books.
They're making a new one.
You know, all those books that you read that had the Expanded Universe in them and all the trials and tribulations and interesting things that happen, burn them, because they're garbage.
I think they kept a few things. Like the book Tarkin was kept. I think the, what's his name, Thrawn? The Thrawn trilogy was kept.
But if it doesn't have the Disney stamp of approval on it, burn it.
Something like that.
It's garbage, because nothing up until this point has mattered until these new Disney movies.
I don't know. I've never cared for Expanded Universe on Star Wars that much.
I guess my point is there isn't a real individual character to this movie. It looks like the same cliff notes of the original trilogy.
Yes.
Note for note, it is the same movie.
What I have to say about marketing, Boba Fett.
Oh, God.
Nobody knows anything about Boba Fett, especially when they saw. Wait, was he in A New Hope? Did he show up in A New Hope?
No, he
No,
was
he didn't.
not in A New Hope.
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Nobody knew anything about him then except for he was going after Han Solo.
Yeah.
People wanted action figures of that.
Well, he had a cool helmet.
Yeah.
I can admit to that. He had a cool helmet.
Yeah.
But he has no voice lines. He has no acting lines. He doesn't say anything.
He had a few spoken words, I think.
In
Sure
Empire
he-
Strikes Back? No.
Did he not? I'm pretty
No.
sure he did.
Well, okay.
He's no
hold
good
on.
to me dead. He says that.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. About Han
Oh.
Solo.
Well, yeah, I guess he would have said that. Whatever. He shows up in Cloud
Unless
City.
it was a
and-
special edition thing, but I'm pretty sure it existed before. I think they replaced the voice for some reason in the special edition. It wasn't good enough.
Oh, God. Can we talk briefly about the special editions?
Well, sure.
Okay.
Why not?
Special editions are garbage. Go to your local thrift store and buy the trilogy for $5. And put them in a VCR player or whatever, or rip them online so you can watch the original trilogy
This
as
is
they were.
illegal, what you're saying.
That is not illegal. It is the way they were meant to be watched. The original trilogy was how they were meant to be watched.
George Lucas disagrees.
Well, George Lucas.
But then again, George Lucas keeps changing his mind, so...
Yeah, George Lucas is a confused man who just lost his way decades ago. I appreciate what he's done, but he's crazy.
Have you heard his comments lately about the new Star Wars?
Oh,
How it's not going how he intended, and how Disney got rid of all of his stories that he had for the sequels. I was like,
Thank God.
thank God, yes, because he can't write. But I kind of feel bad for him. Somebody in the Red Letter Media subreddit yesterday said he hope he dies sad. And I was like, I mean, yeah, he fucked up and he made some stupid movies, but come on.
Well, okay.
Without him, we wouldn't have Star Wars at all.
I don't want to be cruel to George Lucas. George Lucas is a credit to his work. The original trilogy was rife with his bad ideas, but other people were there to stand in and go, let's not make Jabba the Hutt an Arab stereotype. Let's just not do that.
Was he supposed to be?
Yes, he was supposed to be like a gross fat man.
He is a gross fat man. He's a gross fat slug.
He was a gross fat slug. He was going to be an Arab stereotype with a harem of women.
Well, I guess he got that in with Watto, minus the women.
Pretty much. Oh, God. So,
I like Watto, by the way.
Oh, I'm glad you do.
He wasn't used very well, but I like him as a character.
But all of the bad choices that George Lucas makes on the fly are very prominent in the prequel trilogy. I'm glad that George Lucas' fingers are not in this new cake. I'm glad this cake is purely a manufactured monster by the Disney Corporation.
I kind of disagree.
Okay.
You know those pictures when Barack Obama went to office, and you have George Bush with his hand up like, it's like, miss me yet? The same thing applies with George Lucas for me. I like George Lucas is a good idea man, but he's not a good story man.
Okay, put him in
'Cause
as
the
creative director, but put a team of writers beside him that says, no, bad George, bad George,
Well, that's how the original trilogy was.
bad George.
It was Gary Kurtz, Irvin Kershner, was it Richard Marquand for Return of the Jedi?
Uh-huh.
All these people were roping him in. It's like, this is fucking stupid, guy. What are you, 12?
Yeah, the guy needs handlers.
Yeah.
He needs to be able to spout
He
ideas.
thinks like a child, which is good, but he needs adults to rein it in sometimes.
Oh, that's so wonderfully put. Because in many ways he is a child about the things that he does. I mean, Dexter?
Dexter Jetster?
Yeah, there we go. He was in there for no discernible reason to show off a 50s diner in the far past future.
He was a good friend of Obi-Wan Kenobi. We're getting off track again. We're supposed to be talking about sequels.
Well, the thing is, the Star Wars universe is so deep you cannot talk about the new stuff without
Actually,
talking about the old
we're
stuff.
off track on our off track. We were supposed to be talking about special editions.
Oh, God.
This is
Let's put rocks in front of R2-D2. That makes the scene make more sense.
Right.
Let's put...
He can't even get back there.
No, he couldn't. So I don't get it.
This needs more CGI rocks.
Yeah, we need more CGI rocks. Stat. Let's look down the throat of this CGI Alf wannabe, and let's have him go, "Rah!" because that's necessary for the Star Wars movie. That expanded so much into the Star Wars universe.
That is the worst thing ever made by a human being.
I'm glad he's disappointed, because that means, in all honesty, and without a hint of cruelty towards George Lucas, that he does not get to stick his poor opinions into this movie.
I disagree. I mean, he hated Empire Strikes Back. Which, that's stupid. Of what I've seen, and this isn't even based on spoilers, I know. Of what I've seen of the sequel, or the first sequel so far, it is too much like the original trilogy.
Yeah.
So that's where I miss George Lucas. But other than that, I'm glad he's gone.
So I'm basically concerned that they're going to be creatively defunct, like you've expressed too, where they aren't going to do as good a job, and they're just going to go over the same cliff notes that was in the original Star Wars trilogy. So what do you like?
What do I like? I like Finn, because he is a defecting stormtrooper. That is a story that we haven't seen. At least I'm pretty sure we haven't. The closest we've seen to that is Han and Luke dressing like stormtroopers, playing spies. And everybody thought, oh, I wonder if Finn is a spy. I'm like, God, I hope not.
That's kind of what I'm theorizing.
I'm pretty sure.
Him and that guy that are going to be tortured, they're both pretending to be stormtroopers.
Finn is a stormtrooper who's fed up with his crap with Kylo and General Hux, that's another name. You need to write that down.
General Hux.
General Hux and I guess Snoke. I don't know how involved Snoke is.
Wait,
with
General what?
Hux, Hux.
H-U-X.
I'm pretty sure he is a defecting stormtrooper, because that's what all the media, like, not even spoilers, what the officially sanctioned media has told him to be. Like, even back when Celebration went on.
Now, Butcher, there are no black people in Star Wars. Just ask Lando.
I have an opinion on this whole, and my opinion, I'll be called a racist. But I don't think I'm a racist. I don't have a problem. I never had a problem with the black stormtrooper. Okay. Until I read a quote from J.J. Abrams talking about how he went, I think it was the Oscars, and he's talking like, this is the whitest room in existence. And how he wanted characters in a show he was doing, I forgot what it was, he wanted them to be cast as minorities just because it's the politically correct thing to do. And that's what scares me about the Black Stormtrooper. I love his character, I don't mind that he's a black guy, but when you have that kind of thought put into something, like trying to push a political thing into your movie, I just become annoyed with it.
So when he starts talking jive and bouncing a basketball and...
That's racist.
And all that, trying to put some urban flavor into Star Wars, that's when you're going to have your problem?
I don't... As far as I know, or at least it wasn't a problem back in the late 70s, early 80s. Political correctness wasn't a thing.
Well, it was, but it was
much
given
less
a different
so.
name, yeah.
God, what is that character's name? He's a black guy.
Lando?
God,
Yeah,
I don't
I've
know
said
why
his
I
name
forgot
like
that.
twice now.
Yeah, Lando is a cool character,
He was.
whether he's black or not.
That was a suave son of a gun.
Leia is a badass character, whether she's a woman or not. Okay, that's not a joke.
I was just thinking that would be much more awkward when she kissed her brother if he was a dude. Whoa!
But
Don't swing that way.
that's the closest problem I have with him. But that's it. I just don't like political messages being put into a dumb space movie. It's the same thing with George Romero. He doesn't make movies anymore. He makes political messages with movie packaging. That's what Land of the Dead was awful, Diary of the Dead is awful, Survival of the Dead is awful. Because he wanted to make political movies, and that's why I don't want politics in my crap.
Which Day of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead did have a political message behind them.
They were an afterthought.
Yeah, they were put in after to, give the movie a little more meat.
Yeah.
And there was still a zombie movie.
Night of the Living Dead is a perfect example.
Yeah.
He had no political leanings with that movie. Ben, what was his name? Dwayne Jones. He was the best actor for the role.
Yeah, he was.
It was only until later, in the 80s, when everybody was talking about, or probably not even the 80s, like the 90s, like, oh, it's so progressive for its time. And it's like, and in the older interviews, he never talked about the politics of it. But whenever everybody told us, it's like, yeah, that was my original intention the whole time. I don't believe that. I believe he just had a good actor for a good character. That's why that movie works.
Which, while we're talking about directorial pretense, let's just put this out of the way. George Lucas did not plan the original trilogy like he thought he did.
Yeah.
He did not know that Leia was Luke's sister. He didn't know that the Emperor was... Darth Vader was his dad. He wrote that on the spot with a creative team.
I don't know about the Vader part, because I think Vader is like Dutch for father or something.
It is.
That could be a coincidence, though, but...
I'm going to guess that it is, because I do not think George Lucas is as brilliant as we all think he is. I think he just lucked up and made the hit sci-fi movie. There have been documentaries explaining how George Lucas was inspired by all these other medias and other movies, samurai movies, all that, to get his movie. He didn't plan this out, though. An entire team planned this out and made a cohesive movie that has stood the test of time.
I went into a thing about George Romero and racism. I made my point. Political correctness.
Correctness.
It's cool. You know, it's nice
Cool
to be good to people and everything. But there comes a point, like, where does the story end and your politics begin? That's my problem with the black guy.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm a horrible racist, and I burn crosses in black people's yards. Anyway, what you like and don't like.
We weren't talking about our hobbies. Okay, so, Ren. Let's talk about Ren for just a second.
Yes. Knights of Ren or Kylo Ren? Or just Kylo? What are we talking about? Star Wars?
Kylo Ren, yeah. Who are the Knights of Ren? I haven't delved that deep.
This is an official thing, so it's not a spoiler.
Okay.
Knights of Ren are 7 guys.
7 dudes.
Kylo, obviously. There's no other names yet, but there's 6 others. One, they all seem to be wearing Mandalorian type things. Like even Kylo Ren's helmet is like a Mandalorian helmet, kind of like the Red Guards, whatever they're called, and the Boba Fett mask. All of them kind of sort of look like takes on Boba Fett's mask or a Red Guard mask or whatever. Each of them have their own weapons. Kylo obviously has the lightsaber, the crossguard. One has a gun for an arm, which is more like a Blade Runner thing.
That doesn't sound like Star Wars at all.
One has a gun for an arm. One has a gun, like a rifle. One has a like a medieval battle axe. I forget what they're called. It's like a long staff with a rounded axe on it. One has, you know, the butcher from I think it's Origins, Silent Hill Origins.
Yeah.
It has a knife that's kind of like that.
Like a giant cleaver.
Yeah, and the 6th one you can't see because the weapon is behind Kylo in the shots that they show. So nobody has any idea for that. But yeah, arm, gun, axe, baseball bat. I forgot about the baseball bat.
There's a baseball bat.
Yeah, cleaver, and then there's a 6th weapon we haven't seen yet.
Sounds like Final Fantasy characters.
Sounds like
in a pose.
Sounds like a gang from Warriors to me.
Okay, yeah.
Something like that.
Warriors come out to play.
Each weapon has like a little red light on it. Kylo's being the most obvious because the whole thing is red. But they all have like, the bat has 2 red rings on it. It's red. They're bad guys. But I like that. That's another thing that I like. I like Finn for defecting.
I can already tell that I hate that.
I like it. I think it's a neat idea. It's not something we see in the original trilogy, so I'm fine with it.
We didn't see a guy cloaked in black carrying a red lightsaber before? Yeah, you're right.
I'm talking about a gang of assholes.
Okay, an entire gang of black cloaked assholes. Okay, alright.
I like a defecting stormtrooper Finn. That's neat. And I like the Knights of Ren. That's neat. Because it's like based on the Crusades. It's the crossguard saber. And the medieval axe. Like the crossguard saber, I don't know if you know this, but it was officially revealed that it's not a crossguard. He was so bad at making his lightsaber that he needed 2 vents to put out some energy, so it just looks like a crossguard. So that's one way to get around the stupid crossguard thing.
Okay.
And It's a way to make it look like a cross guard because it's supposed to be based on the Crusades, groups like ISIS and stuff. And I have a problem with that too, but we'll talk about that later. Well, no. I'll talk about it right now, Dan.
Yeah, talk about it right now. Don't hold it off.
First Order is supposed to be based on groups like ISIS, but they look much cleaner and much sleeker than the Empire ever did.
Okay.
Which is not what you would expect of a ragtag group of terrorists. Because the way they're doing it is, it's like a reversal. The rebels are like a leftist group of terrorists in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Now, what used to be the Empire is a right-wing terrorist organization, kind of, sort of.
Bent on war and domination.
But they have so many troops, and they all look clean and uniform, and that's dumb. But whatever, I can deal with that.
But ISIS wasn't a thing until late this year.
Well, yeah, but it's
they had to shoehorn that in.
ISIS isn't the first
terrorist organization. Okay, yeah. All right. So anyway,
but Kylo. We're talking about Kylo.
I wasn't offended by his lightsaber. Now, the practical applications are stupid because, okay, you're going to cut your thumbs off.
Yeah.
But we are in a universe where you can easily get a limb replacement so he can have robot thumbs for all we care. I didn't mind his lightsaber. I thought it was kind of neat looking. Not practical.
Yeah, I didn't get the hatred for it myself. Even if it was a cross guard, which...
That wouldn't have bothered me. It would have been stupid. I mean... Okay, you're going to cut your thumbs off. Ha ha ha.
Well, the reason
we can make a funny comic about that.
The reason people thought it was cross guards, and they might work as cross guards, is because what happens in the old movies? People get their hands chopped off left and right. He has a saber. If it slides down to cut off his arm, it's got little blades to stop it, which makes sense, but it's also kind of silly because if he swings it, he's going to hurt himself. Like in the...
Which might be why he's wearing the mask. He might have hit himself a little too much.
Maybe. There's a shot in one of the teasers where it shows him going after Finn in that forest, and he has his mask off. You can see his hair flowing, so he takes it off at some point. We'll see.
I didn't see that really, but okay. Is there anything else that you liked or hated?
Kylo. We're going through the characters one by one. Kylo is... I like his clothing. I like how it's very monk-like with his belt and how he has like that scarf-like thing around his neck. I like his clothing. His helmet bores me to death. I just don't care. I mean, I like the samurai silver stuff around his eyes, and I like the Darth Vader samurai thing in the back. But the faceplate is so boring. Did I show you the original concept art?
Yeah, you did.
I like samurai. That better. Wait, what?
It looked more like samurai armor.
His face is covered in like robot, like cyborg mess, but there's like his human mouth that's poking through. I like that a lot more. Like his face was destroyed, or maybe that's the way it is, and we just haven't seen his face yet. He's just using a helmet to hide it. I don't know. There's a lot of things we don't know, but his helmet bores me to death. I read something about like they wanted to make a mask that kids would want to wear. Because ultimately it is like a kid's movie. Like this time it really is a kid's movie. Not like when George Lucas is like, yeah, this is a kid's movie with all that Senate talk. Kids love Congress meetings and whatnot.
They love killing sand people.
They do. But yeah, Kylo Ren's helmet bores me. I like his lightsaber. I like his cloak and everything.
What about Finn?
I like Finn.
What do you not like about Finn?
Well, it's like what I said earlier. I assume that he, and even I think I sound like a racist when I say this, but I think he might have been cast
solely because he's black.
I sound like such an asshole. Not just because he's black, but I think JJ is trying to put some kind of political message. Lando was a cool character.
He is.
Okay. Whatever. Mace Windu, he was a thing.
He was Samuel L. Jackson. Let's just get that out of the way. He was not anyone. He was bored Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson, in his element, is a funny actor to watch.
I think even think even Mike Stokowski said this in his Blinket review about Samuel L. Jackson. He's making the same complaints people were making about Finn, about how he was probably just hired to market to black people.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, you know I'm right.
Balance out the whitewash. Even the aliens are white.
All that political shit aside, because I hate thinking about it. But J.J. Abrams' own words made me think about it. I had no problem until I seen that quote. Finn, great.
I think he'll work.
I love the story, or my assumed story of him.
Yeah.
It's fine with me.
Honestly, I think he'll work. I don't know what angle they're going to go with, whether he's a spy or whether he's an actual stormtrooper who decided, it's not worth it, I'm going to steal a TIE fighter and leave.
There is a kind of... When's the last time you watched the official trailer that came out during the football game or whatever?
Didn't watch the football game, so I guess I didn't watch the trailer.
Oh, crap. We'll be back.
I don't know, I might have. I don't know. Go ahead.
5 seconds.
Who are you? I'm no one.
I was raised to do one thing. But I've got nothing to fight for. Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
There are stories about what happened.
It's true. All of it. The dark side. A Jedi. They're real.
The Force. It's calling to you. Just let it in.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I was talking about.
All right. So, what were we talking about?
You were talking about how you thought Finn could be a spy, and that face he makes whenever Poe puts his hand on his shoulder and walks around makes me. It looks like there's a look of distrust to him for some reason.
Okay.
That's the only thing I've seen that points in that direction to me. You really have that big of a problem with the Knights of Ren? I think they look pretty neat.
It's just kind of sequel baiting to me, which we already know there's going to be 2 sequels, so I don't mind establishing a good villain base, but that either means that Kylo is going to be killed,
I hope not.
or he's going to be turned over to the proper authorities or something and imprisoned, and then the other guys are going to be like, we gotta get our friend back before he spills the beans! Yeah! Let's rip his throat out!
That idea of him being in prison sounds neat. I don't want him to die though, because of Darth Maul and everything.
And then Kylo Ren is going to pull a Joker from the Dark Knight. He's going to blow people up. He's not going to be he's not going to do anything, but everyone's going to start killing each other because he's so manipulative.
Are you talking about that trope where, and it's used a lot now, where they imprison somebody, but they always have their
contingency plan?
Yeah, oh, I'm in this cell, but I'm still wrecking things on the outside. I hate that. It's
that
so
Hannibal
overused.
Lecter kind of...
Like, the Joker did it. Loki did it in Avengers.
The Law-Abiding Citizen did it. Law-Abiding Citizen, it was a movie. Don't worry. We'll get to it
seems to
eventually.
become a big thing now, too. Anyway. Yeah.
Which that does make the villain threatening, but I don't want them to do that with Kylo. I don't want them to diminish his villainy or his presence by having a bunch of other guys that are just as bad as him or more. I don't want them to anime this up where, oh, we're going to have a tournament because there's so many bad guys and I'm the weakest one. Dragon Ball Z, that garbage. Yeah, my power level is only 1800. Lord Frieza has 1,000,000.
Yeah, the most ISIS thing I've seen is those guys. Because they're a ragtag group of weirdos. They're more ISIS than First Order. Mate, I don't know. We'll see.
Quit dropping ISIS everywhere. Okay. I've got to speculate about the Starkiller base.
Okay.
I've got to make my assumptions.
We're not going to talk about Rey, Poe Dameron, General Hux, all that first.
Didn't we talk about Rey? Oh, well, okay, let's skip that. We'll cut that. Let's talk about Rey.
Yes.
Let's talk about the person who we speculate is going to be our protagonist.
Yeah.
Our center focus. She looks kind of boring to me.
How so?
She just looks like that wayward girl from every teenage girly movie like Twilight and anyway, all those teenage movies like God, I can't remember any titles because they all meld together.
Twilight?
Yeah, all those Twilight-esque movies.
I don't know anymore.
She looks like every teenage girl from there, which she's not teenage, she's like in her 20s. But she looks like every wayward girl who has something fall into her lap.
Well, I mean, that was Anakin and that was Luke.
Yeah, well, Anakin was garbage, and Luke didn't have it fall into his lap. He had it basically burned over him. He was ready to throw all that away. He was just going to go back home. Like, okay, old man, that's cool. I'm going to go back home and talk to my aunt and uncle, and we're probably going to stay away from you. Alright, we're starting over on Rey. Basically. I think she looks boring. She looks like every other Twilight-esque main character who has the world... who has something, climactic and tragic happen to her that she is hoisted into the world. I don't know if they're going to have her lose anyone like an aunt or an uncle who helped raise her or anything, but it looks like she's just going to be thrown into this because Finn shows up to her little slice of the world and brings...
Not Tatooine.
On Not Tatooine. Official name, Not Tatooine.
Yeah.
That's the planet's name.
Yeah.
So, Finn shows up, stormtroopers show up with TIE fighters, blow up her mess, and she's like, oh, we gotta go to my pod hopper, and then it gets blown up, and then they run into a Star Destroyer and find the Millennium Falcon, and Han and Chewie show up and say, get the fuck off of my ship! And then they all fly off and do their little space thing. Then Han's like, you're my daughter, and Rey's like, I knew it! And then he's gonna be like the Obi-Wan of the group, and he's gonna be like, this all happened years ago! Your mom kissed her brother.
That's the important thing to take away.
Whoa! Really? Yeah, it was gross. Especially on looking back on it. Whoa, it was weird. Especially since she said it was... She always knew that they were brother and sister. It was creepy. In fact, we probably need to get a blood test to make sure you're mine, because, I left him alone a lot. Looking back on it, I shouldn't have. But it was the 70s. We were all horny teenagers, you know? What? I mean, it's the future. We're all horny teenagers. It's the future a long, long time ago. Yeah, Rey's very boring to me. She doesn't have a lot of charisma. Now, when we watch the movie, I could be proven very wrong. But as far as a protagonist, she looks like she's there to cry over dead bodies. She looks like less of a charismatic force than even Leia was. And Leia had a lot of personality about her, but it was mostly sass. Because we had never seen the sassy princess before. Not successfully. So yeah, that's my impression of Rey.
I think I disagree. This is part of what I'm going to say later about how it copies the original trilogy too much, but I think it's just another Luke Skywalker. Like, so much so that she's on not Tatooine with all that sand.
Looking at the sun, being all like, there's more out there.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I don't mind them copying, because, you know, did it in the prequels, did it in the original, why not do it a third time? Screw it.
Although I'm looking forward to the next movie when she's put into a slave dress by another Hutt.
I don't know. I wonder if Hutts will come back. They should, in some way.
I think she's going to get kidnapped like Han Solo did, and she's going to be put into a slave dress, and a droid's going to peek down her cleavage and be like, more of that, please.
A droid?
Yeah, like C-3PO did.
Did he?
He perved out, peeked down her metal bra.
I don't remember that.
But that was because it was in like the extra features, the behind the scenes stuff.
I don't know.
The actor was totally looking down her panties.
I don't think they're going to be doing anything like a Slave Leia again because
of Disney.
They're already threatening to get rid of Slave Leia merchandise.
Oh God.
Which, it's more of that political correctness crap I was talking about.
Yeah, because
she can't be in a slave costume. She's supposed to be a strong female character. She was. She didn't.
She choked a giant slug man to death.
The whole point of that is Jabba the Hutt is an asshole.
Yeah, an unapologetic asshole.
He put her in that outfit. It's not like she willfully got into it just to, you know.
And then danced around all happy joy and stuff. Like, oh, I'm here to please you, my frog man.
So yeah, I don't think any of that's going to happen with Rey. She's obviously a copy of Luke Skywalker. I don't know if she's like his son or his daughter.
Yeah.
I did it again. I don't know if she is his daughter or if she's Han's daughter.
I think it's Han's daughter. I'm pretty sure.
I'm thinking if they're not brother and sister, Kylo and Ren, I'm thinking they're going to be cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Either Kylo is Han's or Kylo is Luke's. Rey is Han's or...
I think Kylo and Rey are going to be brother and sister. That's my speculation.
You saw the poster, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, where the staff and the lightsaber were parallel to each other.
Yeah.
There's some kind of connection there.
Which I've heard speculation that her staff is the same one that Darth Plagueis used, yeah. That's interesting, but I don't think it's
I wouldn't
applicable.
mind that at all if that happened. Because it makes a connection to the prequels that isn't stupid.
Yeah.
I like Plagueis' story fairly well.
Yeah, it set up why the Emperor would be such a bad guy. But as for Luke Skywalker, I think he's going to be a space hermit. I think he's going to be living on his own because he's realized that for the Force to be balanced, there has to be both good and evil. And he's going to be living on a planet alone, maybe Dagobah, and then Han and Rey and Finn are going to be like, Luke, we need your help because we need to fight this Darth Kylo face wizard. And Luke's going to be like, the Force is balanced. There is both good and evil.
I think...
Luke, quit being such a nerd and get out here. Okay.
Like what Mike says in their speculation thing. How at the end of Return of the Jedi, he's dressed in black. Like he's getting to the point where he's on the dark side.
Yeah.
I'm thinking...
Thematically.
Yeah, I'm thinking at some point... He didn't turn full dark, but he was getting that way. And to stop himself from doing that, he left everyone.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to get away from all emotion with people. Just be by himself so that way he couldn't hurt anyone. I'm thinking that's probably what it is. And I'm thinking the Awakening, because I read this on Reddit last night on that Star Wars Leaks thing. And I thought it made sense. Which probably isn't going to happen, but it'd be a neat idea, you know, on A New Hope. Feel a great disturbance in the fourth, like a million whatever suddenly cried out and were silenced. I'm thinking that's what the Awakening is. They do, like, the Starkiller can kill entire systems rather than just one planet. I'm thinking they fucked so much shit up at once that it wakes it up in a lot of people. Maybe Rey, Luke, obviously, probably Leia, because, you know, at the end of Return of the
She
Jedi.
is sensitive to her.
So I'm thinking that's the Awakening that they're talking about in the title. But that's just speculation.
Okay. Talking about our speculations. The Starkiller base.
Wait.
What?
Let's go through characters first. Poe Dameron, what do you know about him?
He gets tortured. He's a side character.
So you don't
He's
know that-
just as pointless as every other side character that's ever been put to plastic.
I'm thinking he'll be Wedge Antilles, but not Wedge Antilles, like not Tatooine.
Who's Wedge?
You don't know Wedge Antilles? He was
Was he the pivotal character that didn't get 15 seconds of screen time?
he was on screen. He was X-Wing commander in A New Hope. He was in Empire, and he was in Return of the Jedi. Each one.
He
You
was
don't
so
remember Wedge
important.
Antilles?
No.
Most people. I don't know why you don't know Wedge Antilles, because most Star Wars fans do. I don't know how you don't know Wedge Antilles.
I'm going to go ahead and speculate that Poe Dameron is going to be the Lando. That him and Finn are going to be like old buddies, and they don't exactly trust each other because
How,
maybe Poe's been an asshole before and Finn's been an asshole before, and they both know each other. They've both been running around together at opposite ends of the spectrum.
well, that's another part of it. I think he's going to be not Wedge Antilles, and he's not going to be not Han Solo, Poe Dameron. I'm thinking he'll probably be another Han Solo.
Why is everyone saying that he looks like Han Solo, by the way?
Who?
Poe, what's his face?
I didn't hear anybody say he looks like Han Solo.
He's been on like magazines. Oh, he's got this Han Solo look about
Oh,
him.
you're talking about Adam Driver, who plays Kylo Ren.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought that was going to be
Poe Dameron. His character is described as being like Han Solo. He's like the most badass pilot in the Resistance, things like that.
Well, then why is the movie not about him? Why are they showing Finn?
Well, it's not. It is about him, but it's
Is
also
Finn
about
going to get
Finn.
a laser
It's also
blast
about
to the
Rey.
chest, and Poe is just going to take his place?
Star Wars is never solely about one. Well, it is, but it's not.
The original trilogy was about Luke.
Yeah, and it's based on the Skywalker family. You can't be about some guy who's not Skywalker.
You can. It's called Star Wars, not Starkiller.
The Star Wars saga is about Luke Skywalker's family.
It doesn't have to be. It could be
Yes, it
about
does.
anybody.
That's exactly what it has to be about.
It can be about a war in the stars.
That's why they're making the standalone movies.
Oh, good. Standalones. That's
I'm
just what
excited
we
for
need.
Rogue One. I don't give a crap about Boba Fett or Han Solo movies. Rogue One, it's like Star Wars 3.5. Anyway,
General Huxtable.
General Hux.
So we get the Huxtables in
Not
space.
Tarkin.
Not Tarkin. Not.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him. I don't really care about him. If he leaves an impression, that's good. But I'm going to bet that he's going to get blown up at some point
Yeah, probably.
in this movie. And he's never going to be mentioned again. They aren't even going to mention him in passing. So who's Snooks?
Let's talk about Captain Phasma first. You didn't write her name down.
Captain Phasma?
Phasma. Asthma.
Vespa?
Okay. Captain Phasma, not Boba Fett.
The Silver Stormtrooper?
Yes.
Okay. So it's a girl.
Yes.
Confirmed female.
Yes. Gwendolyn Christie, that giant lady from Game of Thrones.
I haven't watched Game of Thrones.
She's like 6'4" or something.
Okay. So, really tall lady in silver stormtrooper armor.
Like it goes back to the Crusades thing. It's the knight in shining armor, but for the bad guys.
But for the bad guys. It'd be
Which that I like that too. I mean, it's a lot. There's a lot of Boba Fett there, but I like it that it goes with the Crusades thing, and
Be an interesting turn if the Empire is actually the good guys trying to stop
well,
the rebels from doing something really stupid.
that's been speculated.
That would be so funny. And then the
The
remaining rebels who get blown up, they're like, oh, we gotta join the Empire because they're doing good.
Every time Adam Driver, Kylo Ren, is on, he talks about how his character and First Order all think they're doing good. Which I guess every character who's a bad guy thinks they're doing good,
Generally.
but yeah, that could be part of it.
So, I find it interesting that she is a Silver Stormtrooper, which in the expanded fiction that had happened before was the signature of the Dark Troopers. These guys in big, heavy Stormtrooper armor that carried like these big, heavy shotguns and had jetpacks. They weren't very practical, but there was Boba Fett, so whatever. They were the badasses. But since the expanded universe no longer happened because Disney, she's a Silver Trooper? Like, is that a rank?
I'm guessing like she's some kind of commander.
So she's
Maybe.
gonna be the new Boba Fett of the neo-Nazi Empire?
Maybe, I guess.
Okay.
I don't think she's a bounty hunter though. I think she's like some kind of captain of the
Captain of the Guard.
maybe that's something like that.
Alright,
Snoke.
who's Snoke's?
He is
Snooky.
nobody knows really.
Is that the one that Andy Serkis is gonna play?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to speculate right now that it's Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Binks is the Darth Plagueis of legend. He's just been hiding around in plain sight. He's got the yellow Sith eyes. He's able to pull off these advanced acrobatics that no one else can kind of do. He distracts from the ordinary and survives somehow every time through his Sith manipulation. And he's been pulling the strings. He put Emperor Palpatine there as a patsy on Naboo, and he just got off world and took charge.
This is a theory that's going around online. I'm sure. You know. And you know, I think it's supposed to be a joke, but honestly, I wouldn't mind because it would make Jar Jar a less stupid character.
Yeah, it would put justice to the entire...
For him being a stupid idiot, it would make Qui-Gon the fucking idiot, though.
It would, but honestly, he died in that first movie, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he deserved to die. I think Snoke. I still think Snoke is Palpatine.
But Palpatine
I
was
know you
thrown
say-
down a reactor core
You
thing.
don't see him explode. You see a big blast of air. That doesn't mean
That happened to be where he came from. I think he blew up.
I don't know.
I think all those fart clouds that came up were him exploding in the reactor. I think it smelled really bad, and Luke was like, whoa! And then Darth Vader couldn't breathe anymore because he got a big old waft of it in his lungs, in his respirator, and that's why he died.
I think he could be Palpy. If he's not Plagueis, which is what a lot of people think, which I wouldn't mind. If he's Palpatine, Palpatine did talk about how Plagueis, or how he wanted to learn, like Plagueis learned how to.
Be immortal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about his description, his later descriptions that came out officially? These
No.
aren't spoilers. He looks like a damn zombie.
Snoke's?
Yes.
Okay.
Snoke looks like a damn zombie. A giant 25-foot to 30-foot zombie. Maybe. He's either like 9 feet tall and like on a big podium, or he's like a Godzilla monster. Which I don't know how that's going to translate into a Star Wars movie, but... it could
You know
work.
how tall Jar Jar was? About 8.5 feet.
Oh.
I
Well, there
think
you
it's
go.
Jar Jar.
But Plagueis, he's like 9 feet or something, so...
It would be an interesting heel turn if Jar Jar showed up. Hey, we don't know you at all because you weren't in the original trilogy. Misa, no! And Misa is Dark Emperor!
Yeah. But I'm thinking it could be Palpatine. I don't think I think he learned to be immortal. He could be like, what's that character's name? He's a robot and he has all those lightsabers. It's stupid.
General Grievous?
Yeah, I think he'd be like that. He's like human body parts brought together by like robot ghost mist stuff. Because Snoke kind of sounds like smoke.
So he's a robot zombie possessed by the Emperor's ghost.
Something like that.
His
Maybe.
fart cloud
Could
that
be.
exploded from his dying
I know it's a
corpse.
it's a dumb idea, but just something about him makes me think of Palpatine.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's talk about my speculation with the Starkiller base. I want to get this out of the way.
Okay.
Okay. So you know how the Empire conquered Hoth?
One more character.
Okay. Let's talk about one more character.
Maz Kanata.
Maz Kapata?
M-A-Z
Maz.
K-A-N-A-T-A.
Okay, these names sound just as silly as the Lucas names, by the way.
Yeah. This is why they're perfect.
Is this is this Lucas's creative involvement? All these stupid names?
I like the stupid names.
Maz?
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. Anyway, who's
Finn
Maz?
is the most normal. No, Finn and Rey are the most normal names I see.
God's honest truth, yeah.
But I like the dumb names. As long as they're not too far, like Sleaze something.
Sleaze
Bagdano
Corbo,
or whatever
yeah.
his name is. That's stupid. Anyway, Maz Kanata, female Yoda.
Really?
Yes. Something like that.
But Yoda's species died out.
It's not. She's not Yoda, but her role is like Yoda, I'm pretty sure.
What, is she a short,
Yes.
backwards talking
I don't know about backwards talking. She speaks.
mystic?
I don't like her voice.
I haven't heard her voice. I don't need to hear her
The
voice.
voice is in the trailer. She's like, "There's or hope is not lost today; it is found. The force is calling to you. Just let it in."
By the way, for those of you who can't see this, I'm face palming.
But her voice does not sound alien-like at all, and I hate that. She just sounds like some human went to a recording booth and recorded a voice for an alien,
Yeah.
which is exactly what
For a
happened.
CG character that will bounce around and
Oh,
fling a lightsaber.
Supposedly, as far as I know, she doesn't use a lightsaber.
Okay.
But supposedly, only Maz Kanata and Snoke are the only CGI characters, like fully CGI characters. Supposedly.
That's encouraging. I will say that I like that they're using practical effects. Practical sets, practical effects, map paintings.
We'll talk about that later. Let's finish talking about Maz Kanata. She's female Yoda. She says silly philosophical things like Yoda did. She has this weird thing with her eyes. That's why she wears these like aviator-like goggles. Something about her eyes does something. I forget what it was. But
She has wall eyes.
like maybe if you touch her, you can see like her past her or something like that. I'm guessing what that's going to be because supposedly there's going to be a flashback of some sort maybe. But yeah, that's what I think. Anyway, that's so you don't know the first thing about Maz Kanata.
Well, now that you've told me, no. I had seen nothing about Maz. I had heard nothing about Maz.
You heard her voice.
Oh, good. I heard a voice that was female while a female was on screen, so I thought it might be Rey talking or something to that effect, but no, it's going to be a female Yoda because we need that.
Oh, and the little hand in the second teaser that's handing the thing to Leia,
Uh-huh.
the lightsaber, that's Maz's hand. Pretty sure. I think there's a shot where she's watching Finn use Luke's saber, Anakin's saber also.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
other than
the
that,
blue saber is Anakin's saber, by the way. I don't know why it's there, but apparently when Luke got his hand cut off,
so,
Finn or something.
according
found
to
it.
a poster that came out, and according to the flashback, we might see Bespin again in the movie. In a flashback
Cool.
of some sort. Anyway, get the Starkiller.
Okay, we can finally talk about my hypothesis, the thing that I'm going to balance the entire movie on.
Yes.
The thing that I've been leading up to for so many weeks now, and I think it's such a great idea because it's so stupid. You know how the Empire conquered Hoth?
Mm-hmm.
They ran all the rebels off, and they had this cold, stupid ice planet with a shield generator on it.
Yes.
The Emperor seeing that his bases were being blown up every time he built them in space, decides, maybe we can build a Death Star out of a planet. But Emperor, that would be very expensive and stupid. We would have to relocate a lot of creatures from this planet. What if we had a planet that had very few life forms on it and was cold and lifeless?
Mm-hmm.
Well, where would we find such a world? I happen to know a planet that's barren and cold and covered with only wampas and tauntauns and caves. Wow, we could start construction immediately. So they take Hoth, this cold, barren planet, they gut it, and they turn it into a Death Star with no vents or apparent weak points.
Yes.
But to do so, they have to harness the very core of the planet. So they shoot energy beams that move slowly, and they're red and violent and evil. And they can blow up entire stars and planets with this slow-moving death planet. And they're going to call it the Death Planet. Although I guess they're going to call it the Star Killer Base, whatever. I'm going to call it the Death Hoth. It is the Death Hoth. And they're going to blow up entire star systems with this Death Hoth. And it's going to be the most impractical weapon ever. But it's going to be crap your britches, just horrible. And Luke Skywalker is going to fly an X-Wing into the beam of this Death Hoth, and he's going to use the Force to basically plug the end of the gun, like a Looney Tunes cartoon. Just plug the end, and it's going to blow him up, so he's going to turn into a Force ghost. But the entire Death Hoth is going to blow up and send shards everywhere, possibly killing entire civilizations in the aftermath. And Finn and Rey are going to kiss in light of all this tragedy and be like, let's make babies before we all die. And then Han's going to be like, my daughter's not going to date a black man. He's going to wave his cane. And Chewie's going to throw poop at somebody or something, because that's going to be funny.
This isn't the prequels. We don't need that. Can I tell you the truth?
Okay.
Based on, and this is official stuff, this isn't spoilers, like stuff we're not supposed to know. A map was shown in Empire magazine. Empire is like a media magazine.
The thing that Palpatine releases every month.
It coincidentally has the name Empire. Empire magazine.
Yeah.
They had I think it was like 40-something page Star Wars thing in it recently. And they showed a map of the new planets. And you ever heard the extended universe? There's a planet called Ilum, I-L-U-M.
Not really, no, but go ahead.
Supposedly it's an ice planet that's like full of kyber crystals. Kyber crystals?
Lightsaber crystals?
Messed up. Yeah.
Okay.
The speculation is that on the planet, on the old star maps, and on the new one that they showed in Empire magazine, if you lay them over each other, Tatooine, Yavin 4, Hoth, Bespin, all these line up with the old map. But the planet that lines up with Ilum is called Star Killer Base Origin, which implies that they took Ilum, and they made that into Star Killer. And that origin point, what's the word I'm looking for? Origin point implies that they can fly the planet around wherever they want.
So it could be an ancient Sith weapon of sorts?
Yes. And the speculation also goes, this isn't official stuff, this is speculation.
Yeah.
That the red light you see, the red laser, is all the kyber crystals. Like, this used to be a place that Jedis would go to make their lightsabers.
Mm-hmm.
Sith, or the bad guys, took over what used to be a Jedi, like,
control
holy
planet,
ground.
Yeah.
And they turned that into a giant weapon, using all these Kaiser crystals for their new weapon. That's the speculation. But the map, the old map and the new map, seem to point to this planet. And it goes toward the not Hoth. Not Tatooine, not Hoth. not Death Star.
I do not think that this new trilogy is going to fix the prequels. I think they're going to flat out ignore them.
Yeah, probably.
Like, as much as I want Jar Jar to be the new Sith Lord, not going to happen.
I still think Darth Plagueis might be.
Yeah, I think Darth Plagueis might be an addition, but they're going to justify it as being part of the expanded universe that they kept, not the prequels. I think they're going to pretend the prequels never happened, that nothing from that era ever gets out. They might mention midichlorians in passing, like, yeah, remember when we thought that was a thing?
J.J. Abrams said there's no mention of midichlorians in this movie.
Well, thank God for that. But I think they're going to make a jab at it through dialogue somehow, but I think they're going to try and pretend that never happened.
God, I hope not. That's just as eye-rolling as saying things like, I've got a bad feeling about this.
I've got a bad feeling
You
about
know
this
somebody's gonna say
choice.
it. A lot
Yeah.
of people are going to say it. But,
Oh, God.
what were we talking about? I'm lost.
Let's try spinning. That's a good move.
Oh,
He's a real space ace.
somebody was watching Phantom Menace, and they saw in Anakin's little sand apartment, whatever it is, there's a wooden statue that kind of looks like Maz Kanata. She's got like a weird round head, and she's got these goggle-looking things. Her body kind of looks, or the body kind of looks like her body. So there's speculation as to whether they went through the prequels to look for something. And in the official trailer, they show all these flags, and all the Tatooine pod race flags are there. Anakin's, Sebulba's, all those flags are there. Maz Kanata is apparently a character that's been around for like over 1,000 years. She's probably seen everything. So, who knows?
So she influenced pod racing?
No, but she might have been a pod racer at some point or something.
Why would the new
She-
Empire have, or the New Order, or whatever they call themselves, have pod racing flags? That's stupid.
It's not a new order. It's not the First Order thing. It's Maz Kanata's castle that has them.
Okay, why would... Okay, alright. So she's
Not-
keeping pod racing memorabilia?
She's keeping all sorts of things. And she also has the, what's that Mandalorian thing? The skull with the horns. Forget what it's called. That's there also. One of the flags. Lots of old things that go throughout the entirety of Star Wars. She's been around for a long time. There's a quote in one of the trailers which is like, I've seen one's eyes in many people, or something like that. She's seen a lot of people throughout time, and like the same character, these people shows up again and again, and she's like, I've seen your eyes, whoever she's talking to, you don't know.
Yeah, you're the protagonist. I've seen your light before. You always cause trouble and burn shit. Every time you guys show up, a planet blows up. Can't you be happy with it? Ah!
So I don't know. I doubt the statue has anything to do with it. Maybe it's a coincidence, but it looks a lot like Maz, and apparently she's been around since before the prequels, so who knows?
Oh, good. More backtracking.
I mean, it is a sequel. What do you expect?
I expect to progress. I expect for story elements that are similar, but actually do new things and change the playing field a little bit. Character turns and
What were we talking
evolutions.
about? We're off track again. This is awful, by the way.
We're talking about speculations. We were making
Oh, yes.
wild, baseless speculations about how...
So yes, Starkiller Base, Planet Ilum, origin point for Starkiller Base, Kyber Crystals, giant weapon, Death Star, Death Planet.
I think Luke and Leia are going to meet up at some point, and they're going to say like, "Oh, hi, how you doing? I hear you had a lot of kids." "Yeah, I did." "Good for you. Remember that time we kissed?" "Yeah, we try not to talk about that, Luke." God. Part of me's not looking forward to this new movie. But I want to watch it. I'm probably going to watch it on matinee because there's going to be so many people and I don't like crowds.
I want to see it twice. I want to see it in a quiet theater and I want to see it with a shitload of people.
You go fight that crowd.
I want to go like a Friday night, the first night.
You do that.
I will. I'll try to.
You jam your hind end between two people who won't shut up.
I never shut up during movies.
Yeah,
I love
noticed.
talking about movies.
Yeah, but not while it's going. I want to watch it first, and then we can
That
talk
sucks.
about it. So I can absorb all the movie?
That's why I want to watch it twice. I want to see it with a stupid crowd, and then I want to see it in a quiet crowd.
I hate
Or
crowds.
no crowds.
I'm antisocial people. I despise waves and crowds of people. Black Friday? Yeah, I skipped that. I'm not getting out in that garbage. The same thing with a Star Wars opening show. Not doing it. Not that dumb. Not crazy. I don't want to get trampled by some nerd in a stormtrooper suit.
I do. That's part of the fun.
Getting trampled?
Yes.
Well.
You saw the official trailer. You see Finn going over that hill in the desert, and you see that town.
Mm-hmm.
Almost exactly the shot of Mos Eisley in A New Hope. You have not Tatooine, of course.
Yeah.
On planet Jakku.
Jack off.
You have Maskanata and her gang of pirates in her like pub or whatever. It's like the what's it called? Cantina. You have not Empire in the First Order. You have not Hoth, Starkiller Base. You have Resistance Base, which I didn't tell you this. It's on a planet called Dakar. D'(QAR). Not Yavin 4. So all these not planets. That's the most annoying thing. It's like they took a whiteboard and they wrote down all these names for Star Wars original trilogy stuff.
Memorable environments.
And then they erased them. It's like, let's rename this and let's rewrite it. Sort of, but not really. Let's just copy it. That's annoying.
I was pretty sure that was going to be Yavin.
Yeah,
The
so was
Force
I.
planet, because it had a base on it, and it had
Yeah.
X-Wings, and it had...
And that's great. Make it Yavin 4. They're still using it. Fantastic.
Yeah, the new Empire invades them because they're causing trouble, and it's like, okay.
But no, it's not Yavin 4.
Well,
Because
that's
reasons.
cool. Not that I don't want to see brand new worlds, but we already have established worlds that we can
mean,
destroy.
It just seems lazy. If you're going to be lazy, use the real names, the original names. I'm hoping that it's going to be like the Soviet Union. They're going to take these countries and they're going to rename them, or these planets and rename them like the Soviet Union renamed places.
Okay.
If that happens, less stupid, okay? They have new names. Like the New Republic takes over. Yavin 4 is now Dakar. Tatooine is now Jakku, but according to the map, this is not the case. These are different planets that look exactly the same. The only planet that's new is Takodana. That's the one with the castle. It's one that's
Taco Bell planet. Gotcha.
yeah. And there's a part where Kylo Ren is in a forest, like a jungle, and Rey is like shooting her gun, and like the part where Han shoots the thing and that stormtrooper gets blasted back.
Yeah.
That's on Takodana.
That's a great shot, by the way.
Yeah. But that's the only new planet that I see. I mean, they're all new, but not at all. It's like Mark Hamill said in that behind-the-scenes thing. You've been before. It's everything's the same, but it's not, which is annoying. I can't remember exactly what he said, but besides that,
Same worlds, but
I'm
different
sure-
worlds.
it'll be exciting. It won't be like the prequels. It won't be boring as
I
shit.
think it will be the prequels.
No.
I think they're going to reshoot the prequels.
They should. They plan on making a Star Wars movie every year. They should remake the prequels and make them not stupid.
Yeah. J.J. Abrams, while you're not making the other the other new
Sequels.
sequels, let's remake the prequels. Put a team together that can actually do some good and put some money into us so that we can actually have something good to look forward to. Let's special edition the prequels.
But do what George Lucas never would. Put the original versions, the original prequels on the disc. So you
Yeah.
can watch it.
Hey, let's put the originals on the disc so that we can watch the originals the way they were intended to be seen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fox. Sell out. Now. The fans want it. The critics want it.
Yeah.
God wants it. God ordained people to say, put the originals out there.
I'm thinking that Force Awakens will be too much like A New Hope, too much like Empire, and a little bit like Return of the Jedi, but only because of the creatures. Because Return of the Jedi is one of my favorites because all the creatures and everything, all the puppets and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Empire and A New Hope have the better stories. So I'm thinking it'll be a mixture of Empire and A New Hope with the creatures of Return of the Jedi, along with Star Trek 2009 thrown in. That's what it'll
Yeah,
be.
by the way, let's talk about the director for a few seconds.
Yes.
They could not have picked a better director for a Star Wars movie. Because the Star Trek movies, which in the 90s I grew up watching Star Trek, The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Trekkie nerd, but I know my Trek. The new Star Trek movie was systematically garbage. I hated it. It was a better Star Wars movie than the Star Wars prequels.
Yes.
And the Star Wars prequels were better Star Trek movies. Because
Yes.
you just sit around and talk all the time.
Midichlorians. It's a very Star Trek thing.
It is. They have scanners and names for everything, and it's stupid. No. I don't want Star Trek in my Star Wars. I don't want Star Wars in my Star Trek.
Chocolate peanut butter.
Yeah. Except they don't mix together. It's like pickles and mayonnaise. No, just don't do it. No. No, bad.
I'm sure there's some Scandinavian country that does that.
Yeah, probably. They probably have pickles. Like potato chips that are mayonnaise and pickles.
Gross.
Disgusting. Anyway, back on topic. J.J. Abrams, perfect director. I'm worried about the lens flare stuff that he always does.
He, based on the trailers and the TV spots, he has cut down. It's still there, but it's cut down a lot. And this is like another parallel with the original trilogy. Marcia, I can't remember how you say it. Marcia Lucas edited Star Wars to be a watchable movie.
Yeah, because it was initially a disaster.
His wife fixed that movie. What is it? 40 years later, almost. J.J. Abrams' wife is like, cut that goddamn lens flare shit out.
It's rhyming.
So, the wives of Star Wars are fixing it. It tends to happen.
Yeah, behind every strong director is an intelligent woman.
I just thought that was weird. It's like, cut out that childish lens flare shit, you idiot.
You
Nobody wants
fucking
to see
moron.
that.
We want to watch the movie, not the lens flare, you fucking idiot.
It's still there, but it's cut down very much.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be there for the laser beams and stuff, which,
Yes.
okay, that can work, but as long as we aren't looking at lens flare across the desert, so we can actually see the desert and the people behind it.
Where did I hear that? Maybe I'm making that up about his wife, but I'm pretty sure I heard something about his wife saying to cut it out with the lens flare.
That would be funny if it was true. I don't know, but like J.J. Abrams is a good action director.
Yes.
He's got things happening.
I don't care for his writing, though.
No, his writing needs, or his writers need work.
Luckily, he's
He
working
might-
with Lawrence Kasdan, who wrote Empire and Return of the Jedi.
But that's good, because those were objectively the better movies. You know, you can argue the points of the original trilogy, but as far as the standard adventure movie, it works.
Who wrote A New Hope, though? It was partially George Lucas.
Lucas and someone else, I don't know. It was a collaboration of 100 people that put together their forces to make something better, and it just stuck. But I can think of very few directors that could actually do justice to an action space movie. I mean, there's some out there that have done very good space-themed movies. We don't need a mystery novel. We need an adventure. We need a lot of space combat, a lot of not political intrigue, but strong political forces. We need to know who our good guys are, we need to know who our bad guys are, and we need to have a moral quandary between them where the bad guys think they're good guys and the good guys are like, are we really doing the right thing? You know, we need that substance. What we do not need is an episode of Law and Order.
Clang, clang. Why not?
Because it would be just political courtroom drama where we're standing around talking about it. If we have a scene where Leia is talking about the political woes of the galaxy at currently, the current political states and stuff, and she's standing around just talking about it and walking back and forth, I am going to shoot something.
And J.J. Abrams isn't that kind of director.
Exactly. That's why he is perfect for it, because he's always having something happen. I don't want Michael Bay to do these movies.
They wouldn't.
No, he's working on a war movie right now.
They would never dare give him a Star Wars movie.
They better not.
They might give him a standalone at some point, just for shits and giggles. But I doubt they'd give him a saga movie.
Well, there are no American flags, so I don't think he would be that interested.
I didn't see Into Darkness.
It's a bastardization of the second
Wrath
Star
of
Wars
Khan.
movie. Yeah. But it's not a bad movie. It's not a good Star Trek movie.
The thing about Into Darkness, everybody talks about how it references Wrath of Khan too much. That's what I'm worried about with the sequels, or with Force Awakens at least. I think it's going to reference the old movies too much.
But it's not remaking them.
But he said though that he's scared that he's going to reference. He's tried his hardest not to reference the original trilogy too much, because he said he saw his flaws with Into Darkness, and I hope that's true. But the way it's looking, it's too much like.
Yeah, the trailers look shot for shot of the original trilogy, but I think they were clipped together that way so that we would look at them and go, hey, that's what I remember. I think it's, a manipulative play to make us want to watch this movie.
Speaking of Star Wars sequels, did you watch the movie Looper?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
It's alright.
Rian Johnson is directing Star Wars 9, or 8.
I don't know how I feel about that. Because the movie Looper felt like it wanted to be smarter than it was.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not on the level of Blade Runner.
Oh yeah, Blade Runner's getting a sequel, by the way.
No, it's not. I refuse.
Ryan Gosling, who acts like a robot, is going to be something in that, and I think he's perfect for it, personally. He acts like a robot already. He'll probably play a replicant.
Okay.
I'm guessing. But this isn't a Blade Runner talk, so...
Can't wait till we see decrepit Han Solo show up in Blade Runner and be like, yeah, I remember chasing a synth one time.
What was his name in Blade Runner?
I can't remember.
Cade? What was his name in Blade Runner?
Kylo Ren?
No. I don't remember. Anyway, this isn't a Blade Runner talk.
Yeah.
What did you think of Jurassic World?
I love Jurassic World.
Good, because, what's his name? Colin Trevorrow is directing Star Wars 9. So...
Yeah, I mean, Jurassic World pandered. Yeah, it pandered to the nostalgia of the original movie, and that's what you want to do when you're making a movie that is like 10 years, 11 years after the fact. The majority of the movie is...
when did that movie come out, Jurassic World? Like last year?
2014, 2015. Early this year.
So it's been like 20 years.
1993?
Yeah.
To 2015? Okay, 20 years.
22 years. 22 years.
So let's say 20 years. Okay. So they're pandering to the fact that I grew up as a child and watch this movie and like, oh, dinosaurs, it's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I could say Tyrannosaurus Rex when I was 3 years old, by the way. Yay, Power Rangers. But, so they're appealing to my inner child who loves dinosaurs and at 3 years old could say the scientific names. Okay, that's good. The middle of the movie doesn't make much sense and it's kind of boring because not a lot of people die in that movie. I mean, you get the pterodactyl attack, but then there's a whole lot of let's chase this giant Velociraptor T-Rex hybrid. And then the ending happens, and it is the most awesome thing you've ever seen.
Did you watch the Jay and Mike conversation with Max Landis?
Yes, I did.
Where we're talking about Jurassic World, he's like, it's like a child saying, and then, I was like, that's exactly what it was like, and it was perfect.
Exactly. It was perfect. I mean, they joke about it there, but I said right after the movie, after we watched it, you know, the T-Rex and the Velociraptor fist bump, and they're like, yo, dude. And then the Velociraptor drives away on a motorcycle and is like, see you later, crackers.
Well, they're all going after the Adonis Rex and the Raptors go after the giant shark or whatever. Is that what happened?
No.
Or the giant shark helped kill the Adonis Rex?
Yeah.
I can't remember. It was a great ending.
The Indominus Rex and
Indominus Rex
and the Velociraptor and the T-Rex were fighting.
Yes.
The T-Rex and the Velociraptor teamed up because they were like, yo, bro, we gotta defend our honor. And the Indominus Rex was backed up toward the fish tank. And then the giant fish, the giant Fuck-you-asaurus,
or whatever it was.
Yeah, the Fuck-you-asaurus comes out, bites the Indominus Rex, and drags him into the water and drowns him to death.
That was great.
It was awesome. It was the most amazing thing ever. So, if they make a Star Wars movie based on that theme, based on his direction, the beginning and middle are going to be fucking boring.
I liked the beginning and middle. The ending was just amazing.
And then the ending is going to be the best Star Wars movie that was never ever made. Everything awesome is going to happen. Lando is going to come back to life and he's going to be like, what are you doing with my Millennium Falcon? It's my Millennium Falcon!
I'm thinking about it now, and Looper's a pretty serious movie, isn't it? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's pretty serious.
So, it's perfect. J.J. Abrams' A New Hope is a fun but serious movie. That's J.J. Abrams.
Fun action, okay.
Empire is a serious movie. I mean, there's
down
fun
to
in
earth, kind of brutal.
That's Rian Johnson. And the crazy, stupid movie, Return of the Jedi.
To give the satisfying ending that we all deserve.
That's Colin Trevorrow. So if they're trying to copy the original trilogy in that respect, well, they got it, it seems.
Yeah. As far as the directors go, couldn't be better. I mean, I guess you could, but we don't know about them. Yeah, thematically, I guess that makes sense. J.J. Abrams will make a good first impression. The second one will kind of bum you out because it's going to be the darkest point in their story. And then the last one is going to be kind of dark and boring and, oh, this is getting bad, this is getting bad. And then giant robots come out and punch each other in the face.
I don't think they want it to be bad, though. They're going to try to get past...
Oh, it's going to be awesome. It's not going to be lame. It's not going to be like a nerd comes out and explains how this all goes down. No, we're going to see every facet of it, and we're going to go, yeah, get him in a headlock. Get Darth Vader in a headlock. It's going to be Darth Vader's cyborg robot body being possessed by the Emperor, and then Luke's going to come out with a new body, and he's going to like...
Oh, there's rumor that Hayden Christensen is coming for Star Wars 8. Like, seriously.
Hayden Christensen and Luke Skywalker are going to show up in cyborg bodies, and they're going to fist bump. They're going to both activate their lightsabers that they've rebuilt from scratch. And they're going to fight a super robot Emperor. And the Emperor's going to have 4 arms just like General Grievous, and he's going to... And they're going to fight on a walkway that looks like the Phantom Menace, and Darth Maul's going to show up with cyborg legs, and he's going to be like, I survived! And then Obi-Wan's going to use Force Lightning on Darth Maul because you killed my master!
Oh, there's Speaking on this train of thought, there was a comic, I think, recently, or it might have been a novel, in which somebody in Mandalorian armor crawls out of a pit who looks like he's been eroded by acid. So people are assuming that it's Boba Fett coming out of the Sarlacc.
Yeah, that's what happened in the expanded universe. Shortly after Luke and company left Tatooine, Boba Fett crawls out of the Sarlacc. Yeah, but
I'm talking about like a recent new expanded universe. It's happened again.
Okay, but in the original expanded universe, he crawled his lazy ass out of there, and he was like, "Man, I went out like a bitch. I gotta go back to the Slave One and scavenge what bit of pride I have left. Gotta get some new armor. Gotta get a new soundtrack. Man, this is lame. I went out like a Wilhelm." Seriously, he got knocked in the back and just... Wah! Yum, 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 yum.
Very slapstick ending to his life.
Yeah, for someone who was built up so much.
Yeah.
I'm kind of enthusiastic about the new movie, but I'm not so enthusiastic that I'm going to spoil it for myself because I want to wait and watch it. You, on the other hand...
I've spoiled a lot of it.
Even though I've given you express warnings not to.
I can guarantee it will not be a prequel.
Well, that's good. I mean, as long as we don't get the disaster that was the 1999 to 2003 disasters.
Mm-hmm.
Or were they into 2005? They might have been in
2005.
Yeah, okay.
It's been 10 years since Return came out.
Alright.
Or Revenge.
Revenge, yeah. So, as long as we don't get that level of disaster where everything is ruined forever, Star Wars will recover just fine. We'll have a brand new movie franchise. After this trilogy, there will be another trilogy in about 3 more years, and we can look forward to the oversaturation of Star Wars in the media. They're going to milk this cow until there's nothing left but blood and milk.
As much as I like the idea of new Star Wars movies, because I didn't see the prequels, and I obviously didn't see the original movies in theaters, they're going to take all the specialness of new Star Wars movies out immediately. New Star Wars every year until you're dust.
Your grandkids are going to be watching new Star Wars movies every year.
There was an article written called "You're Never Going to See the Last Star Wars Movie," implying that you're going to die before Star Wars ends. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Luke Skywalker's great-great-grandson is going to be like with an emo haircut, using a lightsaber that's circular. He's going to have like a laser gauntlet or something, and he's going to be fighting space Nazis that look like Darth Vader 4,000 years into the future.
It's just this idea, it's just ruining it. They're finally going to end the merchandise monster that is Star Wars, because people are not going to care anymore.
Well, it's like the
Surely
Sarlacc.
people are going to stop caring.
The audience is like a Sarlacc. It's supposed to be a bottomless pit, but eventually you're going to choke it. It's going to choke on the Boba Fett toys that you keep throwing in there.
They're going to ruin the shit out of Star Wars. Right now, it'll be fine, but in a few years, we're going to grow so sick of it.
Yeah, it's going to be like the zombie movies right now. You know?
Yeah.
We were wanting zombie movies, but now it's like, there's another zombie movie. Oh yeah, by the way, Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies is going to get a movie.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Looks like garbage.
I haven't seen the trailer.
That was a joke book. That was like a gag gift you would give to someone who actually reads books. To your lit major college student. Like, hey, here's Pride, Prejudice. Here you go. Zombies. Oh no.
They're releasing Sherlock Holmes. William Shakespeare's emoji books now. Told with like little emoticons.
It's idiocracy.
We deserve to be gassed.
No, but we deserve better than the dumbing down of Shakespeare.
Need to die. We've gone too far.
We've done too much. We've ruined the timeline.
Star Wars will start off as like a reboot, because every sequel's a reboot now.
Well, yeah.
It's so stupid. I want a straight sequel to an old series. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of old and sequels, what about Creed? You interested in seeing that at all?
Not really interested in it, but I actually think it's pretty a pretty good end cap to the Rocky movies.
I want to see it.
Then there's the new Warcraft movie coming out because...
It looks like a Warcraft game, of what I know of Warcraft.
Yeah, the ogres look like cartoons, but then the humans look like regular humans, so what the fuck? Either make the humans a cartoon or make the orcs humans in orc makeup. It looks stupid. Yeah, but probably not the worst thing ever since I don't play Warcraft and I don't give a shit.
I don't know. I've given up on video game movies.
Now, don't tell me you aren't looking forward to the reboot remake of Resident Evil.
Are they doing that? I know they're making like some kind of series, like a TV series.
Are they making a TV series? I wouldn't doubt that they're rebooting it. In fact, I'm expecting it. I'm expecting them to do that.
If they would have gone with George Romero's script for Resident Evil, maybe he wouldn't turn into a horrible hack like he is now. Maybe.
It's possible.
He did the Japanese commercials for Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, those were awesome. I loved those. I even have the game case where it says, enter to win a chance to be in the Resident Evil movie, directed by George A. Romero. That's awesome. I want to be in that movie. No. What we get is a big old bucket of fuck you.
Welcome to Carl's Jr. Fuck you, I'm eating.
It's all turning into idiocracy. The movies are getting dumber.
I don't know. Has there been an R Marvel movie yet?
Not that I know of. I think it's all PG-13.
Yeah. I don't know if Disney would ever allow that.
The Hulk has come closest to an R, I think, but I think they're all PG-13 to appeal to the teenage audience demographic.
This is another thing that worries me about the Star Wars thing. Most Marvel movies I don't care for. The only ones I've cared for is Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
I don't care about Iron Man. I don't care about Captain America. I do kind of want to see the Wonder Woman movie, but that's DC.
That's DC.
Yeah. And I do want to see Suicide Squad, but...
Also DC.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying, like, this new trend of expanded universe movies, or, like, continuous universe movies, or Universal plans to do it with monsters soon. And, yeah, I'm just growing sick of it.
So, yeah, we've got a lot of movies to look forward to hating.
I don't want to hate movies. They just make me.
It's our job. We who enjoy the medium must therefore hate it because of the potential that is wasted. The millions of dollars spent on the bombs in the trailers.
I'm excited for Blade Runner 2.
And the dun 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 dun.
Yeah, I do hate trailers. Trailers are pretty awful. I like the Japanese trailer for Star Wars. It was nice.
To the point, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Movies disappoint me nowadays.
What's the date? How many days until Star Wars? November 30th?
December the 18th.
So 18 days? Something
Yeah.
like that?
Something like 18 days. It's gonna be
18 days
horrible.
until Star Wars. It's gonna suck.
Yeah, it's going to be the worst thing ever. It's going to, like, top the prequels as the worst thing that has ever happened to Star Wars, and we're all going to have to commit mass suicide to,
I'm gonna set J.J. Abrams'
recoup it.
house on fire.
Well, I'm not, but that's only because I can't commit to something like that just on standards alone. So, yeah,